I'm now going to show you how to add a file to the portal site itself. So the first thing, let's come over here and let's log into the system. So the typical scenarios, for example, you might be over here in the marketing tools under, let's say, the price list, and you want to add an Excel file like right here. So a couple ways to do it. One way is to actually go to the page that you want to, like this. We're going to click on this. We're going to edit the page. And then we're going to decide where it is that we want to add that file to. Let's say we're going to add it right here. So I click right here, and then if I want to, I can click here and I can click on Add Media. If I click on Add Media, it opens up the media library, which is already preloaded with lots of different files in here. So I'm going to go ahead and take a spreadsheet, for example. I'm going to take one called Test. I'm just going to pick it up. I'm going to drag and drop it. So you can see that it's here. And so once I've got that file, I could just insert it in the page, and then it automatically picks up the name of the actual file itself. As we see right here, it's called Test 1. Now, of course, I might want to change the name of that, and let's call this is the price list, 2019. I usually also, as a matter of convention, try to put the file format of what it is so people know if it's a PDF or if it's an Excel spreadsheet or what kind of a file that is. And then I usually come back over here and I highlight this text and I just click here to turn the link off. So once I actually put the file there, I usually say this is the current customer price list. Okay, so I give it a description, and this is pretty critical because a lot of times you'll have several files within the system, and resellers get a little frustrated when all you've got is file names instead of a description, so they know exactly what to get. Now in this particular case, if I now update this, then I can come up here and I can view the page, and I can see that I have added that file in there. So we see now if I click on price list, it's going to come up with a window allowing me to either open it or save it out. Okay, so this is the way that the resellers can get it. There's a different format for PDFs where it does something a little different than this. So let's come over here, and I'm now going to add a PDF. So I'm going to click on the area where I want to add a file there. I click over here under Add Media, and now I'm going to come over here and I'm actually going to grab a PDF file. And this happens to be just one from a Canon camera that I happen to have on my desktop. And so I'm going to load this in. And so it's going to say the Canon camera. And then I'm going to come over here and say, okay, that's a PDF. Okay. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to highlight the area. I'm going to click over here and I'm going to erase the link there. And then I'm just going to give it a brief description. So documentation for my camera. Okay, now watch what happens when I press update and then come over here to view this particular file. PDFs are unique because instead of opening up a window like the price list does, like this, you'll see that it'll actually open up the PDF because your browser can view PDFs. The problem is if somebody clicks up here and closes this out and they don't just sort of return to where they are, they exit the portal. So in this particular case, whenever we've got something like a PDF, let's come back to the image. We want to do something a little different. We want to have it open in its own window. So I'm going to click here, then I'm going to click here, click over here to the link options, select this option here called Open Link in a New Tab. Okay, now I can press Update and test it again. Now most of the time I take all of my files that I upload and I always just make them so that they open in their own window just so that this doesn't happen. If we come up here and we now view the page, instead of opening up the PDF within the product itself or within the page itself, it spawns a new window, and so if I close this, I've still got the portal open. So this is a standard convention that you'll typically want to use. There's some other file types that you might want to upload. For example, let's come over here to the same page. And in this particular case, I'm now going to come over here and I can also upload like a PowerPoint or other type of items. But in this case, I'm actually going to insert media, or in other words, I'm going to insert a graphic. So if I have an actual graphic file, and I've got one right here, this is one that shows how to create one of the file types within the portal site, how to create a landing page. If I select that, now it gives me the option over here where I'm going to be able to put it in there. I can center it, I can have it so it links, I can have it so it's a large image, and choose my size of the image. Let's say I'm going to have that as a sort of a thumbnail right here. I insert that on the page, and it does something a little different. On this one, it actually inserts the image in here instead of a link to the image. Okay, in this particular case, I can also click and I can bring it right back over here to the left, and I can format it and do a couple other things that I want to. And again, this is pretty tiny, but this gives you an idea of how simple it is to use. If you want a larger image, you can come right back, reselect the image, come over here, select the size, like large here, and now when I bring that file in, it's going to come in a lot bigger than what it was before. But even then, I'm not too worried about it, because when you bring images in, you can actually resize them on the fly and then size them however you'd like to. So I've shown you how to import like a regular document, like an Excel, a PDF, a graphic file. Let me show you one other type of file sometimes you might want to insert on this particular page. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to insert a video. There's a couple different ways you can add videos in here. I'm just going to show you the simplest way. We're going to come over here and we're going to go to YouTube. And so as soon as we go to YouTube, I'm just going to find a graphic. Let's see, this one right here is one on drumming.
I like to warm up in the shower.
So I'm going to come here and I'm going to click on share. I'm going to take this particular image right here. I'll just press copy. And then I come over here into the portal. And then if I press paste in this, you can see it's automatically, and this is just a feature of WordPress itself. There is a utility in here that allows you to make it smaller and adjust the size however you want to, but this just shows you how easy it is to be able to add a graphic. Add a video in here. Now if I press over here and I press on update, it looks really large right here, but you see when you actually view the page that it'll assume the page sizing however you've got this particular area set up. You'll see right here that now that video is there and it actually plays in line. Okay, so this is an example of several different ways to be able to add files in here. There's one last way over here that I'm going to show you how to add a file. Let's click over here and go into the portal itself. I'm going to click on the top part where it says Partner Portal. I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to the media. The media library is that library that I've been opening each time when I say add a media file. And so it shows all the files right here. So I can either pick any other file that I want to and bring it in, or I can just drop several different files. Like I'm going to drop one here called a blue template, a PowerPoint in here. I can click here, and then later when I want to add files into the system, if I've already put them here into the media library, I don't have to add them on the fly. They're already there. I could just select that or any other type of image that I might want. And then I can pick that image, but I'd have to actually be on the page itself. So now we're going to come back over here to the Partner Portal. And we're going to come back over here and we're going to log back into that specific page, or go to that specific page, which was our price list. And this here shows you different ways you can add different file types within this. And of course there's lots of different formatting that you can do, but this at least shows you the basics on how to add different files using the Media Manager within your individual pages.